श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम् श्रीशैलाभिजनाम्बुराशिशिनं श्रीकृष्णतातात्मजं श्रीशैलान्वये देवनाथसुधियप्राप्तागमान् तद्वयं पादाब्जे नरसिंहताते गुरोर्न्यस्तात्मरक्षाभरं विद्वद्वृन्दचकोरचन्दिरमहं रामानुजार्यं श्रये श्रीरङ्गसुधा मधुसमास्वादयन्तं श्रीरङ्गमहिषीपदपङ्कजात्मजं सुलभाश्रयं सदा मोदसिद्धमद्भुतं भजेऽहं गुरुं तं रङ्गनाथप्रियं सुखासनस्थं हृदयाब्जपीठे चिन्मुद्रयालङ्कृतपाणिपद्मं उभोपवीतं विमलोर्ध्वपुण्ड्रं नमामि रङ्गं गुरुं अन्तरङ्गे नमामि योगसम्राज्ञीं विजयां विजयप्रदां श्रीरङ्गार्धासनासीनां करुणां मम मातरं गुरुरूपपरं ज्योतिः ज्योतिरूपगुरुः परः अज्ञानमन्दिरं ह्येतत् गुरुविज्ञानमन्दिरं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः सकृदेव प्रपन्नाय तवास्मीति च याचते अभयं सर्वभूतेभ्यः ददाम्येतद्व्रतं मम मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना. With salutations to our Guru and the Guru of all Gurus, we will commence our session today. It was such a wonderful spectacle last week where we saw the Punah Pratishtha or Prana Pratishtha of Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra, who is gracefully standing in Ayodhya now as Balarama, whose form is really enchanting, not just for the yogis, but also for pamaras, those who are not panditas, but those whose hearts are full of love for him. He attracts us with his divine form, standing as a 5-year-old child. One of the things is we should not mistake him as just another child. That is the simplicity of Avatara Purushas. Their simplicity actually hides behind itself their true nature, which is Satyakamaha, Satyasankalpaha, shown by the Chin Mudra on his right hand and the left hand, which is ever ready to fight for the cause of Dharma. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. It's a great achievement for the entire Vasudha. It is not just for Sanatana Dharma. That is something we should keep in mind. The Lord descended there with all divine grace several centuries ago. We don't have to dispute when he came down, but the fact is that he came down, and that can be celebrated in many forms. True yogis, Ramate Yoginam Yasya, meditate him in their hearts. They don't need a temple, but it is for ordinary people who want to ascend to his kingdom that we need a physical form to look at, to pray, and then outpour our Navavida bhakti to him with true devotion, including the likes of Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. And this is a extraordinary event given today's circumstances, and it is no mean achievement. Bless you. The achievement, we should not forget, has its seed in the divine sankalpam of the Lord Himself. All of us tend to say, I contributed to it. Our ahankaras are actually so high that we think we have contributed to it, I have made it happen, so and so has made it happen. But we forget the fact that there is a divine sankalpam of the Lord Himself. And all other forms of contribution are the Lord's own making. He has given in some people the Ichha Shakti, where the great yogis, they would have definitely thought in their minds that may this come to fruition, maybe not in this decade, maybe several centuries ago. That would have been the starting point. As we all know, any activity starts with Ichha. Then, of course, the Lord has filled some others with the Jnana Shakti as to how this should be accomplished within the framework of governance, within the framework of how a society operates. And there have been many gentlemen and ladies who have contributed in that sphere. And finally, Kriya Shakti, which is the final act of creating the beautiful outer structure of the place. Imagine the massive amounts of engineering, architecture, logistics that have taken place. And not the least, the person who is truly blessed is Arun Yogiraj. I believe there are two important names in his first name and last name. Arun country is about the Surya Vamsham, Aruna, and Yogiraj means one who is truly immersed in yoga. And I believe both of these have contributed for this blessed soul to bring out the beauty of the Lord as He is. And with the consecration, which I believe has been done by all the matas, not just one. This is a time to unite. All the matas have contributed, including Shankar Matam, Ramanuja Acharya's great lineage, as well as the Madhva Acharyas, and the great lineage in North India. It was so heartening to see so many of the sadhu sants there who had congregated. And it is all about this feeling of oneness that we should celebrate, forgetting that I contributed to this, so and so contributed to this. It is all when we meld ourselves into Lord Ramachandra, all differences disappear. And that is something which is an ideal for all of us living here today. Every day, we would like to differentiate ourselves from others. I am great, or I listen from somebody and do something. We need to adopt the great qualities of Lord Ramachandra, which we are going to see shortly, as narrated in detail by Hanuman as well as Sita Mata. Beyond this temple is the true ideals that have been postulated by the Lord, who is standing with his Chinmudra in the one hand and the Dhanus in the other. Om Pranavo hi Dhanu Sharo Hyatma Brahmatan Lakshamuchyate. As the Upanishads say, the Lord is showing the Pranava as the Dhanus in one hand and the Jivatma through the Sharaha in the other hand. Brahmatal Laksham Uchyate. The Laksham is the Lord Himself as the Parabrahma Surupam. I pray to the Divine Lord and my Gurus to confer upon us the grace to accept not only Him in His true form, but also adopt all His divine qualities. And may He give that strength to all of us to imbibe them not only in spirit, but also in action. It's a very tough thing to accomplish. As human beings, we at least have to pay some attention to these and try to imbibe them in our day-to-day lives. So I just thought of mentioning this before we commence our session today. And it's indeed enticing. We should, it has become a great Divya Kshetram as it normally was, as one of the great Moksha Prada Kshetrams. Ayodhya Puri is one of those Kshetrams. Just a minute. So in the last class, thank you. We were in the Ravana Shanka Nivaranam. That is the 34th Sarga. Where we noticed that Hanuman comes down from the tree and he tries to talk to Sita Mata. Aham Ramasya Sandeshat Devi Dutastavagatah Vaidehi Kushali Ramastvam cha Kaushalam Abravit. Were we in the second slokam or we have to start this sargam? Second slokam, I think. That is, I have come down here as the Duta of Ramachandra, and Rama himself has inquired about your kshemam. That is what it means. Yo brahmastram vedamscha veda vidamvaraha satvam dasharathi ramo devi kaushalam abravit lakshmanascha mahateja bhartuste anuchara priyah kritavan shoka santaptah shirasa te bhivadanam. Hanuman is describing Lord Ramachandra as one who is very proficient in the Brahmastra, right? So if somebody is proficient in a weapon, it is not just about using the weapon, but also creating the weapon, right? The art, science, and engineering behind the weapon also go behind that. It's not just that given this astram, I will use it. And in fact, every astra in those days would have an appropriate mantram associated with it and an appropriate way of using also. Not everybody would be a pravina in using these weapons. And Lord Ramachandra, as we all know, we are going to see later on, especially he could use even a darbha and convert it into a brahmastra, right? So that shows that he is not somebody who merely is capable of using the astram, but also creating it. Vedamscha Veda, he knew all the Vedas, by heart, right? But வேதத்துக்கெல்லாம் மூலமா இருக்கக்கூடிய பிரணவத்தையும் அறிந்தவர், one who knew the origin of the Vedas, which is Harihi Om. We all start to chant Vedas with the Pranavam. All the Vedas emanated from Pranavam. So he is is a knower of all Vedas. Vedavidam Varaha, of all the people who knew the Vedas, he is somebody who is the best among them. And such Dasharathi has conveyed his Kaushalam to you. Not only he, but also Lakshmana, who is a Mahatejaha, and he is your husband's follower, but Bhartuste Anucharaha Priyaha. Right? Anucharaha means one who is closely following behind, அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். And not merely in footsteps, but also in all the aspects. One who is following is supposed to imbibe all the divine qualities of the leader. Bhartuste Anucharaha Priyaha, you is somebody who you also like. And Lord Rama also likes. Kritavan Shoka Santaptaha Shirasa Te Bhivadanam. He is also quite in a sorrowful mood. However, he has conveyed his Abhivadanam to you. Sa Tayo Kushalan Devi Nishamya Narasimhayoho Priti Samhrishta Sarvangi Hanumantamatha Bravite Kalyani Batagatheyam Laukiki Pratibhatimam Yeti Jivantamanando Naram Varshashatadapi. Just listening to these two particular initial words from Hanuman, Sita Mata went into a state of sudden happiness. Samhrishta Sarvangi, all her body parts, right, became extremely pleased. In other words, we call this aspect as Dhatu Samyam in Yoga Shastram, where if we are happy, then all the constituents of our body, going all the way up to bones, tissues, etc., they all start to exhibit that happiness. It is, many times we see that through the face. If you look at Lord Ramachandra, Balarama's face, it is so attractive. It kind of reflects the light that he is himself, right? But for great yogis also we will see this attribute. Their eyes will be very attractive. Their face itself will be very attractive, but not necessarily their hands, legs, etc. for ourselves. But that's not so with Paripurna Brahmajnanis or Paripurna Avatara Purushas. Their each and every limb of the body, right, you can meditate upon, and it will lead you to that divine source and substratum. Tol Kandar, Tolai Kandar, as Kamban says in Srimad Ramayanam. Tal Kandar, Talai Kandar. The people who would look at the shoulder of Ramachandra, their eyes will be fixated so much on the shoulders that their minds and their antaratma will start to go into a state of layam, that they will not have the ability to move their face or mind away from his shoulders. Right? Such is the divinity, that is, they are soaked in divinity. Right? That is what I am reminded of here. Priti Samhrishta Sarvangi, all her body parts, limbs, etc., went into a state of happiness. And she started to speak back. It is now becoming a dialogue now. Kalyani Bhatagateim Laukiki Patibha. There is a popular Laukika saying that Yeti Jivantam Anando Naram Varshashatadapi. It is not that somebody has to be sorrowful until they pass away or until they are 100 years old. It's quite possible that you hear some good news even when you are close to your deathbed, or when you are about to leave. That is the Laukika saying that Sita Mata is reminded of, meaning she is kind of thinking, is it reality? Somebody is talking about Rama and Lakshmana in front of me and their great qualities, and the fact that a message is being conveyed that they are very concerned about your well-being, right? So she is already in deep in sorrow, etc. But now she is thinking that there is an Ananda Varta here that has reached me. And it reminds me of this popular saying that Varsha Satadapi, it could take 100 years, but you just have to wait patiently, and some good news will certainly reach you. This is the saying, popular saying that strikes me right now. तया समागते तस्मिन् प्रीतिरुत्पादिता अद्भुता परस्परेण चालापं विश्वस्तौ तौ प्रचक्रतुः तस्यास्तद्वचनं श्रुत्वा हनुमान् हरियूथपः सीतायाः शोकदीनायाः समीपमुपचक्रमे तया समागते तस्मिन् प्रीतिरुत्पादिता अद्भुता. So Sita Mata, having listened to Hanuman, she has also seen his form and he is speaking. All of this has resulted in her getting a sense of preeti towards Hanuman. Okay. And this aspect of preeti is trying to lead her away from sorrow. Okay. Preeti Utpadita Adbhuta. She is not able to explain this. Imagine that we are in a state of, bhayam, right? Somebody is torturing us, and you suddenly hear somebody coming close to you and offering help to you. How will our minds feel, right? We'll have a temporary sense of relief and some kind of attachment to the person who has brought that message. That is what has happened here. Preeti Utpadita Adbhuta. And this is an icebreaker now. They started to converse with each other, prachakratuhu, parasparena chalapam. They started to chat using messengers now, isn't it? Tasyaha tadvachanam shutva, having listened to Sita Mata speaking in these words, Hanuman, he started to slowly move towards Sita Mata, right? You get the tendency, okay, this person is now ready to listen to me and talk to me. So let me approach her, is what Hanuman did. Yatha yatha samipam sa Hanuman upasarpati tatha tatha ravanam sa tam Sita parishankate aho dik dushkritamidam kathitam hi yadasya me rupantaram upagamya sayevayam hi ravanaha. The moment Hanuman started to approach Sita step by step, right? Unfortunately, her current state, which is 99% full of fear, 1% with preeti towards Hanuman, right? It starts to overpower her senses and her thought. She is thinking that this is none other than Ravana in some other form. I am being deceived once again. See, that's the power of constant exposure to fear, assault, etc. Even for great avatara purushas, you can imagine how much effect it has had, right? Although all bahut tariwalis may say, what did Ravana do? He just kept her in his custody. Did he do anything to her? Right? He did not do any physical damage and all. Sometimes our minds may go in that direction. But just being there, mentally being tortured, has resulted in this feeling that in spite of the positive utterances from Hanuman, her mind is still gravitating towards, assuming this is Ravana. तामशोकस्य शाखां सा विमुक्त्वा शोककर्षिता तस्यामेवानवद्याङ्गी धरण्यां समुपाविशते हनुमानपि दुःखार्तां तां दृष्ट्वा भयमोहिताम् अवन्दत महाबाहुः ततस्तां जनकात्मजाम्. So remember, all this while she was holding on to the Ashoka Vriksha Shaka. Right? So the moment Hanuman starts to come closer to her, she dropped that hold on to the branch, and she's full of fear right now, Bhaya Mohita. And what is the best thing that one can do in this situation, right? To build trust, right? The best thing we could do to build trust at this point of time. Imagine you are a stranger now. You have spoken some good words that has built a little bit of trust. But how do you build better trust? The only way is to fall down at their feet. That is what Hanuman does, right? So Hanuman guesses that she is thinking of me as Ravana in some other form. So let me remove that kind of bhayam from her mind or doubt by prostrating to her, which Ravana would never have done, isn't it? Ravana, if he had come in some other form, his ahankaram would have taken over him, and no way that he would have done this aspect. நம்ம ஒருத்தரை போய் நமஸ்காரம் பண்ணுனா our minds will not agree, isn't it? Falling down at the feet of somebody, right? It's not easy to do. That is something that is embedded for all embodied people. Anybody who gets this body, right? We have that Dehatma Bhavam to the hilt. I am the body and I am superior to somebody else. So that kind of Namana Bhavam will never come. It only comes when we really appreciate who is this other person in front of me. Right? Vaishnavo Vaishnavam Drishtva Dirgha Dandena Namaskuryat. It is this one of the sayings that they say that in the olden days I have seen when two acharyas, meaning not sannyasis, but even grihasthas who are elderly meet, they would do namaskaram to each other. It is not that, you do abhivadya, I will bless you. That sense of ego will disappear the moment we fall at somebody else's feet. That culture has disappeared now, isn't it? கால் மேல கால் போட்டு அவா கால் நம்ம தள்ள வைக்கல அது வரைக்கும் நம்ம போயிடுச்சோம். Right? So that's become the culture of the day. But look at beautifully how Hanuman, of course, there's nothing dramatic here. Okay, it's not voluntary, it is involuntary because he knows who she is, isn't it? What else can I do? I will just fall at her feet. Probably let that convince her better. That is what he's saying. Drishtva vandamananta Sita. Sorry. Avandata Mahabahu Janakatmya sa chainam bhayavitrasta bhuyo naivabhyudekshata tam drishtva vandamanantu Sita sashinibhanana abhravit dirghamuchvasya vanaram madhuraswara mayam pravishto mayavi editvam ravana swayam. So she is completely engulfed in bhayam. Okay, she has dropped her hold onto the shakha, but she is turning her face away. She is not yet seeing Hanuman prostrating to her. Okay, because of bhayam that is still continuing. And abravit dirgham uchasya. She took a deep breath and still saying, Mayavi, you are probably again Ravana who has come in front of me. Utpadayasi me bhuyah santapam tanna shobhanam swam parityajya rupam yaha parivrajaka rupadhrite janasthane maya drishtah swam sayevasi Ravanaha upavasa krisham dinam kamarupa nishachara. You are in fact that same Ravana who came down in the form of a sannyasi, right? Parivrajaka rupadhrite. And it is not good for you to further aggravate my santapam, my sorrow, right? By doing all these acts. You have taken the form of a monkey and you are standing in front of me. I know that you are none other than Ravana. Janasthanathila அங்கேருந்து நிறுத்தன் வந்த ராவணன் நீயேதான். சந்தாபயசி மாம் பூயः சந்தப்தாம் தன்ன சோபனம் அதவா நைததேவம் ஹி என்மயா பரிசங்கிதம் मनसो हि मम प्रीतिः उत्पन्ना तव दर्शनात् यदि रामस्य दूतस्त्वम् आगतो भद्रमस्तु ते. But there are a lot of dualities going on in her mind. If you are indeed Ravana, then again Dharmavachanam சொல்றா. She is saying, why do you torture me further? Stop torturing me அப்படின்னு சொல்றா. வேற ஒன்றும் சொல்ல. சந்தாபேசி மாம்புக சந்தத்தம் தன்ன சோபனம். This doesn't behove well for you, O Ravana. Stop torturing me. However, athava, if my doubt is indeed false and you are indeed dutaha tvam agataha, in case you are Rama's messenger who has indeed come in front of me, and why am I saying that? Just because mama priti rutpanna tava darshanat. By looking at you, that 1% which I told earlier, right? I don't know why I am getting that sense of preeti towards you, right? That is what is the balancing force. If that is indeed true, Bhadramastute, that is, this is a very poignant moment. This is the first time that Hanuman is doing namaskaram to Sita Mata, right? And it is she is Vatsalya Paripurna, isn't it? She is somebody who is full of compassion. When somebody is doing namaskaram, you should not turn away your mind and elsewhere and give them the opposite of anugraham. That is, உனக்கு கெடுதல் வரட்டும் அப்படி இப்படிலாம் சொல்லப்படாது. She is indeed somebody who is full of compassion. That is brought out in this particular aspect. That anybody, see, what does Lord Ramachandra say? Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Chayaste. It can be Ravana himself. You just prostrate and surrender to me, I will give abhayam to you. And she is the wife of such a person. So how can she not bless somebody who has fallen at her feet? This is the Kavi Hridayam here. That even that moment is not lost by great men and women. That she is saying Bhadramastute. So those who were thinking that Sita Mata did not bless her in the first moment when he prostrated, your questions are answered. That he is indeed blessed by Sita Mata herself. पृच्छामि त्वां हरिश्रेष्ठ प्रिया रामकथा हि मे गुणान् रामस्य कथय प्रियस्य मम वानर चित्तं हरसि मे सौम्य नदीकूलं यथारयः अहो स्वप्नस्य सुखता याहमेवं चिराहृता. If indeed you are the messenger of Lord Ramachandra, I now ask you, Harishreshta, right? She is already giving him a title now. Okay, many times we get a title after so many years of, bless you, service. Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, Bharat Ratna, right? Sometimes after we are in some other lokam, posthumously. So here she has given him a title as Harishreshta. You are the best among Vanaras. யாரால கொடுக்க முடியும், right? For a moment you step back and think, these are all the things where the Avatara Purushi is also saying, I am an Avatara Purusha. Okay. So you cannot, without, see, you will apply the law of statistics. This is the first monkey she is saying, not thousands of monkeys, and say, you are the Harishreshta. Right? See, just by looking at him, she is saying, you are the best among all the monkeys. Right? So in order to say that, two things. One is she herself is a Veda Vidam Varaha, right? She is the husband of Veda Vidam Varaha. She is Veda Mata herself. That is number one. Number two, Hanuman has done enough to display all his best abilities. That's the other thing we should notice. Okay. The way he approaches, the way he sings, the way he uses the right language, Sanskritam. And his demeanor, all of that is enough sample for her to say that you are the best among all the Haris, right? ஒரு பதத்துல எல்லாமே அடங்கியிருக்கு. That is where not enough research can be done on Srimad Ramayana. And the Guru inside us has to throw light on all of these things. Gunan Ramasya Kataya Priyasya, my Lord Rama is very dear to me. Throw some light on all his Divya Gunas. Chittam harasi me Soumya. Oh, Soumya. Right? She is calling him as Soumya, interestingly. Soumya na, one who is beautiful to look at, handsome to look at. Okay. And Hanuman, of course, was quite handsome to look at. The other thing is those who, Narayana, சோமம் அப்படிங்கிறது யாருக்கு நிறைய இருக்கோ, those who have the grace of Lord Chandra, they are called as Soumya. They may not externally be beautiful to look at, but if they have the grace of Om Chandrama Shantir Nakshatrani Shanti, in the Shanti mantras, they say, right, let Chandrama be peaceful to me. When Lord Chandra is peaceful to you, you will get certain attributes which make you look beautiful to others, right? Ideally in external form, but also in internally, your mind will be so pure that there is no way that the opposing party will reject you. Such people are called Saumya people. That's the other Dharma Sukshmam here. And Nadi Kulam Yatharayaha, just like how the branch of the, what am I saying? The bank of a river is pounded by the waters of the river, and there is some kind of erosion. In such a manner, you are imbibing preeti in me, right? That is, you are overpowering me with preeti in spite of my current situation. Abdin solra. Or aho swapnasya sukata yaham evam chiraharta. Or is it indeed something dream that I am seeing right now? And I'm so happy to be seeing this dream அப்படிங்கிற அப்பாவும். So that's the kind of state she is in, that she is going through all of the preshitam nama pashyami raghavena vanokasam swapnepi yadyaham veeram raghavam saha lakshmanam. Is it indeed a dreamful state where I'm seeing vanokasam, which is a vanara here in front of me, and raghavam saha lakshmanam. It's possible that I'm going to look at Lord Ramachandra through this gentleman who is in front of me. Pashyayam navasideyam swapnopi mama matsari naham swapnamimam manye swapne drishtva hi vanaram nashakyobhyudaya praptum praptaschabhyudayo mama kimnusya chittamohoyam bhavedvatagatistviyam. If it is indeed a dream that I am seeing right now, so she is again going through this internal mental torture of seeing, is this reality or is this dream? Okay. If this is indeed swapnam, and in a swapnam I am seeing a monkey, there is a popular thing that if you see a monkey in your dream, then that will result in your destruction, nasham. Okay. So Ethan mentioned, don't think of monkey all through today, you will get, right? We may condition our mind to see the monkey in our dreams. So these are dreams where involuntarily a monkey comes in your dream. Let us put it that way, not because all through the day you have seen a Netflix drama where there are monkeys, and obviously you'll get a monkey in your dream. So if such is the case, then I am seeing the opposite of this outcome of seeing a monkey in a dream, which is I seem to be getting some kind of good dharmam here, abhyudayam, which is somebody is communicating that Rama and Lakshmana are thinking about you and they have conveyed their kushalam. This is actually good dharma for me, and I have acquired that now. So therefore, see how logical she is. This cannot be a dream. Whenever we are in Bodhai, right, we try to come up with some logic, and I'm not experienced in that, but I've seen others do that. So please don't take me for. So, but that's what happens. Sometimes you blurt out and you may not be logical about what you say. But here, unfortunately, she is in a state of fear. Hi, I'm seeing a young person there. It's nice to see kids around. So the thing is, she is quite logical in her thought. That is the Veda Vidam Varaha. means that automatically the aspect of logic gets embedded in you. And she is disputing her own hypothesis, saying this is probably not a dream. Okay, that's what she is up to here. Or it may be Vata Gatihi Tuyam, so tu Iyam. So she is also a doctor of Ayurveda. So இது ஏதோ வாத்தத்தினால வாத்த கத்தினால எனக்கு ஏதோ ஒரு something I'm seeing, some hallucination. Okay, that's what she's saying. Oh, that is if you have, see, we have Vata, Pitta, and Shleshma in our body, isn't it? The three dhatus, or we call it as the doshas, isn't it? And a combination of these doshas will result in various state. And if you have extreme vadam, it will result in what is known as unmadam. That's what she's going to say. Unmadajo vikaro va syadiyam mrigatrishnika athava nayam unmado mohopyunmada lakshanaha sambuddhye chahamatmanam imam chapi vanaukasam ityevam bahuda sita sampradharya balabalam. She started to look at all kinds of hypotheses and say it may not be dream, it may be hallucination. And I do not think it probably is because of any of this. Okay, let me hold on and see what happens. Sambuddhye chaham atmanam imam chapi. I am indeed seeing this monkey in front of me in flesh and blood, right? So sometimes you try to see to the left and right. If you are hallucinating, right, you will check the other aspects of reality around you. She will see the tree, she will see the Rakshasis, and then she will see Hanuman. No, he is there in flesh and blood, so it is not dream or it is not hallucination. Rakshasam kamarupatvam menetam rakshasadhipam etam buddhim tata kritva sita sa tanu madhyama. So she tries to come up with her own hypothesis now. She looks at the aspect that these demons are very powerful. The Rakshasas are very powerful. They can still take Kamarupam. So she probably concludes that this is somebody, Ravana, in the form of a monkey. Na prativyajaharatha vanaram janakatmaja sitayas chintitam buddhva hanuman marutatmajaha. So she is entertaining all these thoughts now. Okay, and this is something that Hanuman is actually seeing. Most of these things she is probably murmuring in very low volume. Okay, imagine the actual scene. Hanuman is observing Sita, and Sita is not loudly telling all of this. Okay, it's not a Mauli drama where everybody speaks out aloud on the stage. No, she is muttering. Probably many of the things are her own internal things, but it will show up on her face, her behavior, demeanor. So Hanuman is making his own observations, and Hanuman is going to look at ways of managing this. Srotranukulai vachanaihi tadatam sampraharshayate. He started to speak words which would convince her. Shrotra anukulaihi vachaihi. That's the beauty here. Pleasing words is what I need to use right now. So he starts to respond to the question she had asked. What is the question she asked? Speak about Lord Rama and his gunas. Right? Abdin Solitu, she went behind and she started to get into this hallucination mode. Aditya iva tejasvi lokakantas shashi yatha raja sarvasya lokasya devo vaishravano yatha vikramenopapanascha yatha vishnurmahayashaha satyavadi madhuravak devo vachaspati yatha. Is the very first gunam that Hanuman gives to Lord Rama. Right? Aditya iva tejasvi. Right? There's a reason why he has chosen that. Is because Lord Rama is a Surya Vamsha Purusha. The very first attribute you can give is the tejas that the Surya, Aditya has. That is reflected in Ramachandra. I'm not a totta or 2000 degrees Celsius நம்ம கையில் வரும் இல்லையா அப்படி கிடையாது. That is the Bhaskara is somebody who is lighting us internally, and that divine light, right, is seen through his divine body, and that Tejas reflects from his body. That's what it means. Although he is like Bhaskara, he is as cool as a moon. The moment you get close to him, நம்மளுடைய கர்ண கலைகள் எல்லாமே சில்லுன்னு ஆயிடும். We'll all get chilled when we get close to such great Avatara Purushas. Okay, that is something we should note. Adityeva Tejasvi Loka Narayana Lokakanta Shashi Yatha. Immediately, if I did not see this second part, that is mentioned here. Lokakanta Shashi Yatha. Just like how the moon creates this Kanti, right, which is cool. So, in other words, there is an interesting thing to note here is bringing sun and the moon together here. It is not just a Surya Vamsha Purusha. His demeanor is quite chill, therefore he is like a Sashi. அப்படின்ட்டு இல்லை. திங்களும் ஆதித்யனும் எழுந்தார் போல் அங்கனிரண்டும் கொண்டு எங்கள் மேல் நோக்குதியேல் அப்படின்னு ஆண்டாள் சொல்கிறான். திங்களும் ஆதித்யனும், the Lord's eyes, one side is Surya, the other side is Chandra. One is they correspond to many tattvas, right? One is the buddhi, the other is manas. One is ida, the other is pingala. And this is a great Paramapurusha, right, whose eyes are indeed Surya and Chandra. That is what we should note here. And look at how he is correlating. Srotranukulaihi vachanaihi. The moment Sita listens to this, automatically her buddhi will start getting fixated on the right things. Raja sarvasya lokasya devo vaishravanoyata. Just like Kubera, Kuberaya Vaishravanaya Maharajaya Namaha Rajadirajaya Rasakya Sahinenu சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, அப்பேற்பட்ட ராஜாவர் ராஜாராம். விக்ரமேண உபபன்னஸ்ச யதா விஷ்ணுர் மகாயசாஹ. He is like Mahavishnu who has all the Vikrama, right? He can conquer all the worlds, and he is somebody who has all the Yasha, all the Kirti. Satyavadi Madhuravaka. He is somebody who will only speak truth and speak in such a manner that it is like Madhuram, isn't it? Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat. Both are mentioned here. Madhuravaka, just like the Vachaspati, the Lord of Vak. These are the important gunas that Hanuman mentions, right? So, idalam, we should all be really blessed to listen to these things. Idan Srimad Ramayanatha Parayanam pannom, edukka pannom அப்படின்னாக்கா, these things will all help us to just at least get 1 centimeter closer to the great Mahapurushas. அந்த குணங்கள்லாம் கேட்க கேட்க நம்மளுடைய மனசும் அந்த பக்கம் போகிறதுனால our minds and hearts will get fixated on these divine qualities, and with the grace of the Lord we will probably imbibe those in our lives. So with this we'll conclude our session here today, unless there is any quick point from anybody.
Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha Samsarada Chiradbhava Muktaha Guru Charanambuja Krishna Krishna Sendriya Manasa Niyamadevam Rakshasi Nija Hridayastam Devam Bhaja Govindam भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते
कायेन वाचा मनसा इन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्या आत्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमीद्यत् सकलं परस्मै श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. सर्वं श्रीरामचन्द्रार्पणमस्तु. Have a great day and a week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghuvanji.